Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let me see if you can make up your mind, or you make a determination as to what you think is true. I just got done making a video talking about pure outright deception, for which I have absolute irrefutable proof of. I've already screen grabbed it. That someone was showing you this. Let's just say that's a wine. I don't actually drink alcohol. It's Gatorade, right? Let's assume it's wine, right? Wine and a Gatorade thing. What do you think, since photography is an art form, I mean, where does the photography slash art start and stop? Now, photography is writing with light, photografia. Now, there was basically Lightroom and Photoshop back in the days of film where I lived in. I spent so many countless hours in the darkroom. It's sickening to think of how much time, like a vampire, I spent in the dark. Dodging and burning, manipulation of processing of the film. These are basically like Lightroom and Photoshop for film, right? Dodging and burning. I hope you know what dodging and burning is. All sorts of neat little tips and tricks of eliminating things and shifting things. That's basically like early Lightroom and Photoshop. Now the question becomes, is if you buy a lens, okay, that produces this, you know, it's like this lens is a cow. You know, you're going to squeeze on cow tits and you're going to get this crap, okay? You squeeze on cow tits, this is what you get. This lens is a cow, and you're going to squeeze on the tits, and this is what's going to be deposited on your SD card, okay? This is what's on your SD card. These are the images presented by professionals who work for some of the camera companies that make these lenses, Nikon, Canon, others. They're like, these are the images that they're presenting to you. It's like, these are the images from the new 10514E. It's like, no, girlfriend. That is what you did in Photoshop and Lightroom. Where does it start and where does it stop? Now, a lot of the things that we actually put on film or on SD cards is not what we see with our eyes. Time exposures, rear curtain shutter sync is still all light, right? The image is processed, obviously, you know? It's processed through AD converters and SNR firmware, then it is just pooped onto your SD card. You know, it's an electrical signal. It's digital photography. Same thing with film grain. I mean, in film, when we process it, we can push it and pull it in processing, do a few things with it in processing to make it look a certain way. Okay, so that wasn't really the light, you know? And the image that's put on your SD card or compact flash card, that wasn't really the light, but it's pretty much what hit the sensor, was interpreted, noise was removed, or gain was added. We talk about ISO. ISO has no connection to exposure. ISO is applied gain. So even when you anytime you turn your ISO dial, you're radically changing what is actually entering the lens and hitting the sensor. Undeniable, irrefutable. Okay? My question is, what point do you draw the line? And it's whatever moves somebody. Obviously so, right? Yeah, that's irrefutable as well. It has to be your art form, your expression. Nobody is saying limit you to what you want to do. I'm not saying limit yourself. I'm going to drink some moo juice here, or cow tits milk here. Good stuff, nothing like fresh squeezed juice from cow tits. Where is the borderline? Where is the borderline? There has to be two borderlines here, okay? There has to be representation. Here's the important shit, okay? Listen up. The important crap is that there has to be a borderline with what is represented. It's like, I need some test shots of this lens, okay? I want to know what it really makes. Ah, you see this crap right here? I want to know what it really does, not what it could do if I rape the hell out of it. Those are bad words, I know. Rape and molest. I know those are horrible words, okay? There's really no other words that accurately define what happens when somebody takes a shot and just manipulates the piss out of it in Lightroom and Photoshop. It's just inaccurate. It's accurate. Even though they're horrible words, of course. What's the borderline? What you want to do to it here, that's your own business. It is an art expression, okay? If people want information about what something does, they want to know what it makes. It's like, what comes out of the cow tits of X lens? You know, this lens, I want to know what squeezes out of the tits, you know? Is this a lens that comes from cow tits, or is this a lens that comes from the grapes hanging on the vine that are fermented? First off, let's say this. I much rather, because time is money, rather have lenses that produce wine as close to or right at on the SD card. And there are some awesome lenses that do that. Voigtlander 58mm 1.4, Nikkor 105 f2 DC Nikkor. Oh God, what do these have in common? Low element count, supremely divine design, Japanese made, magnifique qualité. Oh my God, just smack your mother awesome lenses. And they're not that expensive. New lenses made in China, made out of plastic, super expensive, and they make this. Oh, but the people that work for the companies that represent these lenses, before the lenses ever come out, what they do is they squeeze some cow tits out of that super expensive Chinese lens, which makes milk, and then they stick it in here and they molest it until they get grape juice. And then they show the grape juice, or the wine, excuse me, either one, grape juice, wine. I don't drink it all, not alcohol anyway. And they go, ah, look what this lens produced. It's like, no, girlfriend, that is what you produced in Photoshop and Lightroom. You have to draw the line. You don't have to draw the line in your artwork. Your expression is your expression. I mean, if you know the lens produces this, and you want to, just radically change. Anytime we add flash illumination, we radically change things too. I can make like 2 p.m. super bright light look like it's like 8 or 9 p.m. All I have to do is crank down my aperture, close it down, add some flash illumination, bam! Illuminate my subject. The background will look like it's 9 p.m. I mean, that's fake too. But it's still light. It's still photographia. That's all part and parcel of exposure. What you want your final image to look like? Perfectly awesome. Whatever it is, manipulate the hell out of it in Photoshop and Lightroom. Okay? But there has to be a line drawn when we're talking about lenses. What the lens produces versus what you or some professional photographer or some Nikon ambassador produces in Lightroom and Photoshop. Because people don't like to be deceived. They don't like it. Actually, some people like it. Masochists, like, beat me more. Wham! Beat me more. Yeah, spank me again. Yeah, spank me, spank me. Some people love being deceived. They love the bullshit. What did they say about hamburgers? You don't sell the hamburger, you sell the sizzle or something like that? There's some sort of stupid phrase like that. And people buy into it. Yeah, sell me the sizzle. Yeah, spank me. There's certain people that like that. Most people, a little bit smarter, don't like that. My question to you is do you know where that line is? The line for the art is nowhere. There are no lines in art. Anything that's awesome that moves somebody, doesn't matter what you do to it, even if you take the photograph and rip it to pieces and tape it back together and take a picture of the ripped up pieces, bam, art. If people love it, awesome. That's just fucking awesome. That's art. That is fine. Anything goes in art, like Love and War. They say anything goes in love and war. It should be anything goes in love and war and art. Anything goes. But telling people that a lens which produces this actually produces this, no, that's deception. That's deception. Deception, art. Art's over here, deception's over here. Art, deception. Art, deception. Art, deception. Do you get what the F I'm saying? Art, deception. Yeah. Oh, well, I manipulate my shots in Photoshop and Lightroom. Well, that's great. That is art. But I want to know what the lens does, okay? If I'm trying to buy a lens, I want to know what it makes, not what you made out of it on the computer. Okay? Bye. Damn it to hell.